Every year, plastic continues to invade the world as we know it, and has become and pollution of it has become one of the biggest issues that we face today. Due to the increased rate of plastic production and no policy currently in place to stop it, plastic pollution has increased at an alarming rate around the world. The United States should implement a policy limiting the overall numbers of plastic production due to the many extreme and negative effects that plastic pollution has on the world today, such as harm to the wildlife, environment, and even humans. Through researching across multiple high quality sources, I looked into the statistics of plastic pollution and the many negative effects it has on the world today. Today, I'm initially going to be talking about the overall problem of plastic pollution and its causes and effects, and then transition to how implementing a policy limiting the overall numbers of plastic production is the most effective way to combat this issue. To begin looking at this issue, I can start by talking about the overall problem of plastic pollution in the world today. The IERE states that plastic pollution is such a big problem in the world today due to its persistence. The IERE also states that plastic pollution poses such a significant threat to the world today due to its ability of widespread contamination. The UN Environment Program states that around 2,000 garbage trucks full of plastic flow into the world's rivers, lakes, and oceans every single day. And you can see here how in this picture, in this river and or ocean, and or just in this body of water, there's so many different plastic bottles and trash that are polluting this environment. The United States Environment Protection Agency also states that with how much plastic and waste is going into these oceans and environments, it poses marine species at a much higher risk of ingesting, suffocating, or becoming entangled in this plastic. You can see how this big bulk of plastic and waste is just right in front of these fish and how easily it can be for them to ingest and digest and put them at risk. Plastic pollution is increasing so much in the world today because of the production of it is continuing to increase at such a rapid pace. Green Earth states that plastic pollution is continuing to increase every single day because of the increased production, and that just the packaging industry itself is projected to grow by more than 3% annually. You can see how in this graph, the packaging industry is this big blue section and how it's just continuing to rise every single year, going from 1980 to 2024. The IUCN also states that with these materials involved in packaging and producing these single-use plastics, they are known to be carcinogenic and can propose many different neurological, immune, developmental, and other disorders that have many effects on the wildlife and even humans. Plastic pollution continues to increase every single day of our lives and is one of the biggest issues that we continue to face every single day of our lives. Ocean Blue Project projects that around 75 to 199 million tons of plastic waste are actually in our oceans right now, and that around 33 billion pounds are being dumped into it every single day or every single year. But at this rate, if we keep allowing this to happen, this situation can become uncontrollable, and we'll have no way to stop it. And this can lead to so many different significant long-term effects around the world. This plastic waste has so many different significant effects on humans' health, wildlife, and environment. This plastic waste continues to flood the environments and can propose many different damages and put the marine species and even humans at risk. The U.S. Environment Protection Agency says that humans are threatened or so in so many different ways as plastic has been found in human livers, kidneys, and even placentas. You can see how in this picture, the many different problems that plastic can put to humans, such as problems in our lungs, our liver, and even in our digestive system. Now that we talked about the overall problem of plastic pollution, we can look into how limiting plastic production is the most effective solution. The United States can do this by implementing a policy limiting the overall numbers of plastic production, such as putting a production cap and a ceiling on how much single-use and harmful plastics are produced every single year. In order to make this happen, lawmakers have to draft up propositions and get them approved first in order to stop and limit how much plastic is produced every single year, and that can go into the environment. And they also need to allow businesses that rely on these materials some buffer time and to plan accordingly and adjust to these new regulations. The US can also, when the US and even the world itself can adjust by limiting plastic production and transition into more alternative and environment-friendly materials in place. By doing this, this will have many different significant economic impacts on the world. Cordigate in Cambridge University states that by taking action, um, it'll cost around 18.3 to $158.4 million by 2040, and by not taking action, it'll cost around 281.8 million trillion dollars. You can see how, especially in this graph, how the economic impacts are just significantly more beneficial if we take action to zero plastic pollution than no action at all. So the benefits of taking action significantly outweigh the cost of not taking any action at all. And this is just such an effective method because it has a direct relationship on plastic pollution. If we limit how much plastic is being produced every single year or every single day, that'll limit how much plastic can potentially go into the environment or be ingested by humans and pose many different threats. Um, Cambridge University again states that by using alternative materials in place, that plastic production will decrease by 47% by 2040, and this will limit how much plastic is going into the world and potentially putting threats to the world's wildlife, ecosystems, environment, and even humans ourselves. And this will allow us to have so much more control over the situation itself. In conclusion, limiting plastic production is the most effective method to combat plastic pollution in the world today. Plastic pollution puts so many different threats on human health, wildlife, and the environment itself. As a society and community, we can start by contacting our local representatives to push for action and to help combat this issue in the world today. By doing this now, we can start by we can potentially have a lasting impact on the world today and for future generations to come. And this will allow us to help life as we know it for many generations. So thank you. And here's my my sources for my photos that I used in my slideshow.